Welcome to another video from Lockdown Electronics with me, Bill, and this time we've got something that's completely new for Lockdown Electronics, and that's a chance to open up a parcel and look at some donations that somebody has very kindly sent to me. I'm amazed at the generosity of people. I've watched many donation videos on things like the 8-bit guy and Adrian's Digital Basement and things like that, but never for a moment thought anybody might be keen to send me anything. So I'm immensely grateful to Adam L, who is one of my viewers, and he was watching a video back in April, and he asked in a comment how to get in contact with me, and we got in contact via email. And he said he got some electronic stuff that he no longer wanted. He sort of got out of the hobby a bit, and was he interested? So I said, well, yes please, that'd be absolutely great, and we'll see what we can make of it. So he's very kindly sent me the parcel. Now, I've been doing a lot of travelling in the south part of the UK this last 2 or 3 months. We've got an ongoing family issue, unfortunately, so I've been away for quite a while, so I've had to wait 3 weeks to get my hands on this parcel, and all I've done is I've opened up the box, but I've not actually looked what's in it. So I've got a bit of an inkling from some of the conversations we've had on email, but let's go to the bench and have a look what delights might be in store. Okay, here's the first of the 2 parcels that Adam has sent me, and apart from undoing the seals, I have not taken anything out of the packet, so I've actually got very little idea of exactly what's in here, but it certainly looks very exciting, and Adam's generosity is impressive. Now, I'm wondering if that's perhaps a note, so I'm going to just open that just off camera, just to make sure it is indeed a note, and it talks a little bit about some of the contents. So we'll put that to one side for a moment, and we'll just have a look at the goodies. He's even rather thoughtfully put some silica gel in there. So that looks like BNC to Bulldog clip probes, 2 sets, and these things here are short BNC to BNCs. I suspect that's part of something that's the else is in here. That's USB to USB, and we've got a number of modules here, and I know there's quite a lot of modules. So what I'm going to do is get down to the item which Adam originally mentioned to me, which is the user manual for the ISFE, which is an attachment for the Siglent oscilloscopes. Gosh, this is seriously well packed, Adam. All right, okay. So that's isolated front end module, and there's another very carefully packed thing here, which that looks interesting. That's something that's clearly homemade, and then yet another module. So I'm going to put those modules back for a moment and just look at this main item, which is the Siglent isolated front end. Now, I confess I need to read up exactly what this is, but it certainly is a device that I guess separates the front end of your scope from anything that could do it some harm. I don't think they make these anymore, and I'm guessing off the top of my head that these 2 short BNC leads are going to connect. I'm just going to move the camera slightly so you can see that. There's my Siglent scope. So I'm guessing these 2 leads connect like that onto there, and yeah, as it says, oscilloscope connected to this port, and then we've got these isolated front ends. So I'm going to need to read the manual, but then we'll certainly have a look at exactly what this is and how it works. So that's excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Adam, for your incredible generosity. There's even a user manual, which I'm going to have to read because I confess to being completely ignorant of this. So that I'm going to try and read up and understand. Now there are a number of modules in here, and I guess when I've started reading the notes it's going to make a whole lot more sense to me. I think they might be part of the yeah, I think those two back-to-back BNC plugs are actually designed. I did have a quick glance at a couple of web pages. I believe they're going to be the same pitch. Yes, they are. That allows you to put this device straight on the front of your scope like that. I wouldn't like to catch that with anything while it's working there. I think you probably need to have something underneath, so I can understand why they might have included those leads, but that's absolutely excellent. So we'll have a look at that. So there are all sorts of modules in here. I have absolutely no idea what they are. I'm going to need to read Adam's note to try and make some sense. So yeah, that looks like ESP32 module. Yeah, I guess it is. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination on microcontrollers. I try and avoid them if possible, but I guess I'm not going to be able to. Oh yeah, pick 24F or something. So that looks like that's a pick which has been mounted onto a slightly more accessible board there. So picks are always useful. Picks I do know a little bit about. Don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look up what that is. It's got 3.5 inch sockets. It's got USB, micro USB there. It's got an micro SD card and a USB socket. So what looks like an aerial there as well. So I don't know if that's some kind of Wi-Fi module. Some display module here that's piggybacked on top of something else. So again, lots of stuff here. I don't know what it is, and you're probably sitting at the camera screaming, I know what that is, it's a such and such. Well, I can't hear you, sorry. And again, looks like a DC-DC converter, maybe, a couple of those. So we'll take a look at those two. And this says clock generator 1 to 225 megahertz, 3 volts peak to peak. Clock 1, clock 2 variable. I guess those are those outputs there. Looks like there's a bit of a display there. That's a rotary encoder of some description, and so that looks like something that Adam has made, and rather nicely done as well, Adam. So we'll have a look at that too. Yet another LED display board there with a driver on the back, goes down to 3 wires, and that also looks like some kind of DC-DC converter. So I'm going to have to do a great deal of looking up here to make any sense of this stuff. Something in there as well, don't know what that is. It looks like a relay of some description. Yes, that's a relay. So yeah, okay, well, I've never really thought that anybody might be interested in donating something to the channel, and so well done, Adam, for being the first, and thank you very much. I'm now going to look at this off camera and see if I can make a bit of sense, and then we can summarize what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to have to spend a bit of time going through the circuit board modules to try and work out what they are, with the help of Google, but having read Adam's note, this would appear to be something he's made. It's 10 kilohertz, 100 kilohertz, and adjustable 1 to 225 megahertz square wave output. Drives 8 microamps into 50 ohms. Uses an Arduino. It's got a battery in there, and now I didn't switch it on before, mainly because I guessed it needed power, but having now tried switching it on, we do get a display. It says clock generator 50 ohm, 11.2 dBm, and then gives you the various outputs. So I'm guessing that's 1, 2 and variable. So let's first of all, let's try one. This should be 10 kilohertz. Certainly getting something on the scope there. I've got a 50 ohm terminator, so we'll just use the auto setup and see what the scope makes of it. Yeah, there we go, very nice square wave, 9.999 kilohertz. I think we'll call that 10 kilohertz. Yeah, it's a nice square wave, isn't it? Producing that very nicely. So that's output 1, 10 kilohertz. Next one should be 100 kilohertz. So let's try that. I'd expect, yeah, that looks suspiciously like there might be 10 waves there for every one where there was before. I'll just adjust the time base out a little bit. Yeah, again, another nice square wave, but very fast rise time as well. Wow. So that's 100 kilohertz output, and then apparently the next one is variable. You've made a good job of this, Adam. I wouldn't know where to start programming an Arduino. I avoid microcontrollers, if I'm quite honest. It's not really my area of expertise by any stretch of the imagination. Now that should be 1 megahertz, and indeed the scope says it is. So I'm now going up using the rotary encoder. That's 10 megahertz. Yeah, scope agrees with that too. Starting to lose the shape a bit, but you'd expect that with a square wave at that kind of frequency. And if we go up to, let's go up to 50 megahertz, see what we get there. Yeah, that's saying 48.9, it's about 49 meg. No, sorry, I'm at 49. That's why 50. There we go. Yeah, 50 megahertz. Now it says it goes up to 225. The scope is only 100 megahertz. I know it's good to 100, so we'll just go up to 110 and see what she's making of it. Yeah, bang on 110. I don't know how my scope is going to cope as we get further up, but we'll give it a go. Is it going to show me 200 meg? Am I asking for trouble there? 191, which is what it's saying on here. That's 200 megahertz. I'll just turn the sensitivity up a bit now. The scope, to be fair, is struggling now, as you might expect, really. I'm at twice its bandwidth, but yeah, very nice. That looks extremely good. So I'm just going to power off and we'll have a peek inside, because this looks really interesting. So if I can, okay, I figured you weren't terribly bothered about watching me trying to find my screwdriver or even undo some screws. I guess you've probably seen that kind of thing before. So got the lid off, and nice neat job, Adam. I like it, very well made indeed. So we've got Arduino Nano here, at least even I recognise that, and we've got the SI5351 frequency generator board there, and I'm guessing that the connections underneath there talk to the 5351 board, output to the display there, rotary encoder. So yeah, very nicely put together indeed, and a battery there, which will be the 3.6 volt 18650, I guess. I'm more familiar with those in my diving torch, but nonetheless. So you've made a very nice job of that, Adam, and I'm incredibly grateful you're prepared to send it me. I know you said you were sort of not doing electronics anymore, but not entirely sure I deserve such things, but thank you, and we'll see if we can't make use of this on the channel. Yeah, very nicely put together indeed. Nice one. I wouldn't really know where to start with programming Arduinos, but there we go. So that's some of the contents of the box. I'm going to have to read up now about the isolated scope probes and see if I can make some more sense of that. Okay, so quite a few of the items appear to be microcontrollers or circuit boards to do with solar panel control. This one, however, didn't make a bit more sense. This is a buck converter and a little control board piggybacked on top. So I've now got it hooked up to bench power supply that's running at about 15 volts, and I've got the output just onto the KM601 here on voltage. I've got a display here saying 6.47, and the meter is to within 0.01, agreeing with that. I don't fully understand how all this works, but pressing set and then let's say go up to nope, pressing the wrong button there. Let's press the up button. Let's go up to see if we can get to 9 volts there, and OK, and it's saying 8.96 is the actual output. 8.97, yeah, so it certainly appears to do that. According to the internet, it will take up to 28 volts. So what I'm going to do now is just up the input voltage to about 25 volts. So that's 25 volts on the supply now, and it's controlling that very nicely. It's obviously not under any load, but it is didn't appear to be any change there. If I now back that off to about 10 volts, yeah, the 10 volts still haven't managed to have no impact. Dropped down to 5 volts now, so you obviously wouldn't expect it to be boosting it up, but yeah, nice little down converter. So that's back to 25 volt supply. So I'm going to try pressing set again. Let's try going up somewhere around 18 volts, something like that. 18.3, okay, 18.22, 18.27, yeah, still within less than 0.1 of a volt, according to the display. So that's quite nice little DC voltage regulator that appears to be working just fine. I'm not sure when these were first produced, but at least that's something I understand. Quite a few of the other chips of the other circuit boards have got either PIC microcontrollers on, or the ESP32, which is it's either a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth controller board, and there's also something that appears to be an audio amplifier. So at some point I'll get that connected up and see what that does. But yeah, very good. A lot to think about there, so greatly appreciate all that. So thank you very much indeed, Adam, yet again. Okay, well, you've hopefully seen a fair chunk of the contents of the box. There's quite a lot of those modules and some of the bits to do with Arduino and microcontrollers that I frankly know very little about. It's not something I've ever took a great deal of interest in, so there's a bit of a learning curve there for me, but hopefully you're going to see some of that stuff appearing in future videos. That's the hope, and that's the challenge for me. But thanks very much, Adam, for sending those things in. And while I was away, before I'd even seen the first box, I got another email off Adam, and it said, oh, here's another tracking number. I've sent you another parcel, so here it is, and that is yet another box of donations for the channel from Adam. So thank you very much times 1, and thank you very much times 2 for this parcel. I've not, apart from undoing the top, I've not actually looked at the contents yet. I'm going to video that, and hopefully there'll be some more interesting stuff to see in there. So thanks very much. Real practical way to support the channel, and also to get me out of my comfort zone looking at stuff that I'm not familiar with. Now, If you've enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up and consider subscribing. That definitely helps the channel, costs you nothing. If you're in the market for a multimeter or any of the other tools produced by Kaiweets, there is a link in the description. If you use the code that you'll see in there, I think it's LE10, that'll get you some discount, and that also helps the channel. I know one or two of you have been doing that. I appreciate that, thank you. That is a real practical way to support the channel and allow me to do some stuff which hopefully will continue to be interesting. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next video.